Let's check out the Cloner Alliance Flint 4KP Plus streaming and gaming video capture card. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. Today, the fine folks at Cloner Alliance have sent me this, which is a Flint 4KP Plus video capture card. Now, before we go too far into this video, you should know that they did send me this at no cost to me. I do not have to return it, so I have gained a capture card out of this review, which may or may not impact my perspective on this. I will say that I have not been coached on what to say. I have not been told anything specific that I should add to this video. I was simply sent this product and asked to review it in my honest opinion. My commitment to you, the viewer, is I will actually review this as if I bought it with my own money. Would I buy this with my own money after having used it and knowing what I know now? Now you'll see that it is still fully sealed. I have not opened this yet because we're gonna do an unboxing as part of this video. And if you've seen any of my recent videos where I've done video captures, I've been using this, which is a GameLink video capture device, which I got off of Amazon. I will be comparing my experience with the Cloner Alliance to this GameLink adapter. So I'm gonna put this over here. This is not a direct comparison between the two. It is simply, here are the features and here's what I think about this. But for perspective, I have used that. So I know how that works and I will compare to how this works. So we'll get to all of that shortly. Now, to start out with, despite what the name says, 4KP Plus, this is not a 4K capture card. This has the ability to output or pass through a 4K 60 signal to an external device, a monitor or whatever, but it captures in 1080p. If you are looking for one that captures in 4K, you would be looking for the Flint 4KP Pro, not the 4KP Plus. Now, there is a cost difference, and that's probably why you're here looking at this video. Do you need to spend the extra money for the 4K capabilities? We'll cover that. We'll get to that, okay? Don't worry, we'll get there. Just stick with me for the unboxing and we'll talk about all this. While this does not offer 4K recording, it does offer a seamless 1080p at 60 frames per second, low latency video recording format for streaming with Twitch, OBS, or just capturing your game capture footage. You can also connect this up to your DSLR camera to capture 4K video footage onto like a computer rather than the capture card. And a lot of YouTubers are using it for something like this, their studio setup, to help enhance the visual experience without spending a lot of money. So overall, we want to find out if this is actually worth your money or if there's something better out there for you. So before we get too far in, I guess we need to open it up and see what's inside the box, and then we'll talk about the specs, and then we'll hook it up and we will try it with my PlayStation 5 just to see what the performance looks like. Before we get too far into this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. If you've seen some of our content already and have not subscribed, we want you to join our community. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get back to the video. So we'll peel the plastic off. Like I said, this is brand new. I have not seen this yet. We'll open the top to you guys so you can see it first. Oh, wow, okay. So first off, we have the Cloner Alliance Flint 4KP Plus manual. It does come with another card that says, do you need help, with a scannable QR code and contact support. So that's really nice to see. A lot of the cheaper stuff that you're gonna get on Amazon will not come with something like this. It's one of the perks you get with the higher price. You get actual support if you've got problems. Now, hopefully we don't have any problems. I'm not intending to call tech support. There are some good instructions that show you how to hook this up. So it's very easy. They show you how to register it, how to connect your devices for input and for pass-through, and if you want to connect any audio like a headset or a mic or for music. That comes in handy when you're looking at streaming because you can inject the sound into the stream very easily. What else do we got? A USB-C connection. And then again, the QR code on the back that says if you've got problems, call us or text us or whatever. Next, we've got this little guy here. That's the capture card. I guess, why not? Let's pull this out now. Now, first off, I'm gonna tell you, like, so the finish on here, it feels like an aluminum finish with an anodized coating on it and a nice beveled edge that is very shiny. The middle piece actually feels like a cast aluminum as well. So it's very high quality. It's a sturdy construction. It's actually quite heavy in your hand. Compare that to some of the cheaper Amazon ones. They come in a plastic case and they will not feel like this at all. There's no switches or anything on here, no buttons to push. It's simply a line in, a line out, a USB port. You've got the audio line in, you've got the microphone line in, and you also have audio line out if you needed to extract the audio for whatever reason. It should also pass all of the audio outs through the HDMI, but I'm not sure about that at this point. Now in the box, I can see we've got a load of accessories here. So let's just cover what you get here. So this is a USB-C to USB-A adapter, which comes in handy. We also have a USB-A male to USB-A female adapter. Not sure what that's all about. We also have this guy here. Interesting. Does this use a micro USB? No. We have this, which is a micro USB to USB-A dongle. We also have a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Now, you heard me already say we have a USB-C to USB-A adapter. If we look inside there, right inside there, what you will notice is one of them is white and one of them is blue. The blue one will support the USB 3.0 protocol, and this one will support, the white one will support USB 2.0. Ideally, you want to connect to an actual USB-C with USB 3.0 because that will give you the best performance on that video card. We also have HDMI cable. We can pull this out of the plastic bag here. The length of this is roughly 4 feet. So it's not the longest in the world, but it's certainly not the shortest. We also have this, which is a USB-A to USB-C cord. Now, I'll show you the different connection options we've got here. So this guy connects with the USB-C cord just like that. That will give you this end here, which is a USB 3.0 cable, and it should plug into any USB port. However, if you have a USB-C port, you can use this, which is the USB 3.0 to USB-C, like that. And then on this laptop, for example, that will plug into my USB-C port, and it should connect right away. And there's the sound, and it does recognize the card. Now, I'm not gonna actually test it on the laptop because I want to use the video pass-through over here. So we will move over to the computer in a minute. Now let's talk about connectivity for a minute. This will work with any gaming console that has an HDMI output. So the PlayStation 5 obviously easily covers that. One thing I want to find out is what the minimum video input signal is. So I have a PlayStation 2, and I actually was using that video card to do video capture of my PlayStation 2, and I had a hard time capturing the video signal with different video cards that I tried because it does not output a standard HD signal. So we'll try throwing a few different HD signals at this and see what it does and does not capture, just to get a good idea of how good the visual range is with this. It is a plug and play device, so you should be able to plug it into any modern PC and have it work. However, Cloner Alliance does recommend that you have an Intel i5 that runs at least 2.5 gigahertz to use it. They also recommend not using a laptop because laptops tend to have power saving mode where they downclock your processor. They do recommend you use like a big computer like that. Now, you should be able to get by just fine with a laptop, and this particular laptop is actually quite high spec. So I would expect no problems with this laptop. But on your personal laptop, you may experience some issues and you may have to play with the settings a little bit to get it to work. But as long as you got an i5, 2.5 gigahertz, you should be okay. Now, while this is plug and play, it's not easy to use. So when you plug it in, it will become available, but it doesn't just plug in and then just work. It simply becomes a peripheral on your computer that you have to know how to use. Now, personally, I use Streamlabs OBS streaming software, and it will just jump right into that. So I will show you connecting up to Streamlabs so you can see what that looks like, but you need some sort of video capture software to actually use the signal that's coming off of this. It's not just gonna record it to your PC magically. Now, it also doesn't have a full like configuration menu. So if you don't know how to use software such as OBS, there's a bit of a learning curve where you will have to learn how to use the software and then how to implement your video capture card. Also, for those of you who have a PlayStation 5 or a newer console, you also know you can't normally just plug this right in and have it work. You will have no video signal, and that's because you need to change the HDMI settings on the console to turn off the HDCP setting. Normally this is going to be turned on your console, and so it might not work then unless you turn that off. Again, I'll show you that when we get to that part of the video. Now we want to talk about the recording quality. So we said this is a 4K capture card, but it's only a 4K output. The capture card itself records at 1080p 60 frames per second. Those of you who have been around a little while, you know that this PlayStation 5 can do 4K at 60 frames per second or 1080 at 120 frames per second. That means that this console is putting out more frames per second than what this capture card supports. Now, you might be asking yourself, is that a problem? The short answer is right now, no, because most people are connecting to a TV, which doesn't do 4K anyway, so it's 1080p, probably at 60 frames per second, or even a monitor, which most of the monitors at best support 1440p and 60 or 120 or 240 frames per second, but we're not going there with this. It's not a big deal. Plus, you can still output the 4K signal unrestricted to your monitor. But right now is not holding us back. In the future, it might. And if you're wondering about future proofing, I mean, this is going to be good for quite a few years. Most people are only watching YouTube streams at 1080p, and Twitch is streaming at 1080 at best anyway as well. Most people are not tuning into a stream because it's a 4K. So you're not going to miss out just because you can't do a 4K stream with this. So the bottom line is, if you need to do screen recording at 4K or at 1080, 120 Hertz, this is not the video card for you. It just isn't. It won't do what you're looking for. But if you don't even know what words I just said, then this video card's probably just fine for you. So now the next thing we got to do is just hook it up and then see, run it through some paces. So we're going to jump over there. We're going to see how it works with the PlayStation 5, and then we'll come back and wrap this all up. So now that we are at our computer with our PlayStation 5, it is time to do all of our connections. Now, we'll start with the easy connections first, and that would be the USB connection. I'm gonna just plug this in here right now. The next thing you're gonna do is take your HDMI cable, like that, and we're going to put this into our PlayStation 5, if we can do it without wrecking it, just like that. Now, PlayStation 5 is also gonna get powered up because it won't turn on without power. Like that. So this is coming from the PlayStation 5. I'm going to plug that into the in port on the Flint 4K Plus. Then I've got an HDMI cable coming from the monitor, and I'm going to plug that into the out connection. And right away, my monitor said, hey, we noticed somebody has connected something to this. Do you want to switch to that input? Let's say yes. And then we need to plug this in to a USB 3.0 port. So we're going to set up our live streaming first. So I'm going to plug this in up here, and hopefully this port works. So now that this is ready to go, we can go to our streaming software. Now I'm currently running the streaming software because I'm doing a video capture to capture what you're seeing on the screen right now. So I can go and just simply add, and I'm going to add a video capture device, and I'm going to call this game capture, just like that. I'm going to say okay. Now it's going to say, well, what is your game capture device? I do have a webcam which is mounted up there. I used it for the overhead shots that you've seen in other videos, but that's not what I'm doing here. I'm going to use the live streaming video device, like that. I'm going to say okay, and then we'll put that over here on this side of the screen. So right off the bat, interesting. So on my monitor, you guys can see with this camera right here on the monitor, I have nothing on the monitor, but in my game capture software, it's giving me a video signal that says Flint, no signal found. Don't worry. Please check the input signal, scan QR code for help. So if you're having trouble and you're in your software, let's see, I can make this bigger so you guys can read it. Need help? Scan that code, and then Cloner Alliance will tell you how to get that signal working. But I'm going to get it working by just turning on the power on my PlayStation 5. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is I unplugged my PlayStation 5 without powering it down, because when it turns on, it's going to give me a warning that I've shut it down incorrectly. Now, right off the bat, what you're going to notice is, well, a couple things. First of all, my controller battery is just about dead, so I've got it plugged in so it's charging. But you're also, new PlayStation Plus games available. We'll check those out after. So you can see this monitor has a display input right now. This is capturing the pass-through image. So if I unplug this cable here, I will lose the video signal to the monitor, but my live stream still shows my video game content. Now, normally I wouldn't want to play through here because there will be some input lag introduced. And when you're doing competitive gaming, which is probably why you're streaming, you don't want any input lag. So you can use the video pass-through. This will pass through 4K at 60 frames per second, which is plenty enough speed for most of you. If you need a 120 frames per second output, this is probably not the one you're looking for, but you're probably not actually doing 4K at 120 anyway, because the PS5 doesn't do that very well. So here you can see, I'll boot up a game just for fun, because why not? So now here we've got it up. Now it's a little bit of a mirroring trickle down effect here, because we're full screen with half screen with half screen with half screen. So that's just how I've got my OBS set up. But either way, here you can see, I mean, it works. There's nothing to see. Now, I will say that using the cheap, generic Amazon video capture card setup was never this easy, okay? I just showed you the setup in real time. I didn't do anything special to do it. I just opened up OBS, selected the device, and immediately it saw the device and it started showing me a video signal right away. With the generic Amazon capture card, it always glitched out. It always needed to be rebooted. I'd have to unplug it, plug it back in, and my stream reliability was very, very low. It would lock up and I wouldn't even know it had locked up. So I started to always be checking my stream. I always had to have it open and checking and making sure that it's there. Whereas this has been, it's totally rock solid. It responds very quickly. You can see as I'm just toggling through, like the refresh rate, I can see a small delay, but not much. But this feels pretty much instant. It feels like I'm still on the native PlayStation 5. So easy setup when you know what you're doing, and it connects up without any drama. Now let's power this off and see how it does with turn off PS5. I'm gonna go grab my PlayStation 2 and see how easily it captures the signal from that, because that's the one that was having a problem before. So let's check that one out. Now right away, I gotta say, I'm really loving the fact that this says no signal found when there's no input signal. My cheap Amazon card, it never said anything. So I didn't know if it wasn't getting a signal. I didn't know if the signal was out of range. I didn't know anything. With my PlayStation 2, the signal was actually out of range on the original capture card. So I had to get a different capture card that captures the video signal that this thing's putting out. Now I did a different video that shows you all of my setup for this PlayStation. So if you're seeing this and you're wondering what the heck has he got going on there, I show it all in a different video. But let's turn this on. I'll plug that in. And then let's see. Now my monitor's freaking out that the input's out of range, but the Cloner Alliance card captured the input. Now what's it doing? There we go. Very, very interesting. So you can see here, my monitor's freaking out. My monitor will not accept the input range of the PlayStation 2 to the monitor, but the Cloner Alliance card is clearly capturing the input range here. So now I can go, let's load up my free McBoot. And this just loads the games right of a stick there. It opens up OPL, and let's see if I go to a game, let's see what happens. If I go into the game, if the monitor will support the video signal then. Still says out of range. Wow. Okay, would you look at that? So here you can see that it's showing the game playing through the capture card. So it's capturing the video input signal, but this is not showing the capture signal at all. I could still play if I wanted to. I can switch this to 2 screen and then I can go preview on there. And there you go. So I've got the game running. You can see the game's running. It's working just fine. Made by Atari. And wow, look at that. That looks so good. That looks really, really, really good. Actually, I'm very surprised at how good that looks. So anyway, this isn't a video about how good the PlayStation 2 looks through a Flint 4KP Plus video capture card. But dang, that looks so good. Looks so good. So you've seen how it hooks up. Let's go back, do a quick wrap up on everything that we've learned through this video. Now that we've finished actually testing this, let's talk about the reliability. This device has actually been pretty reliable. It's stable, you plug it in, it works. We didn't experience any major crashes. Now, contrast that to the device back there that we looked at, and I told you this wouldn't be a comparison video, but that thing crashes all the time. It was a $60 capture card. This one is about $200, Canadian at least, so it's not a cheap capture card. So who is this for? This is for the guy who's looking at the Elgato. So if you are used to that name brand, you know that they kind of have a stake for being a reliable, good video capture card. It's very similar to the HD60S Plus, which is a bit higher of a price point than this guy. So this is pretty much the same for less money. You can't go wrong with that, right? As we already talked about, the product quality is very top notch. This device itself is very high quality. When you go over to the adapters and the accessories, these little adapters, they feel kind of cheap. They don't feel as premium as the device itself, but they do the job. So if you need these adapters to make it work, they're there already. Most of the cheaper cards, like that guy over there, it doesn't come with any adapters. It either works for you or it doesn't, and you're stuck. So this at least comes with everything you need out of the box to get streaming right away. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.